Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nocta and this is Call of Cthulhu. The pastor declared himself to be a prophet. He renounced God and worshipped a strange pagan, with a monstrous appearance. His wife tried to reason with her husband, but in vain. He was convinced that he must listen to this voice in his head because it holds the truth. Insanity at its finest. Okay, so where is the owner? Is there blood? No, I don't think so at least. Hmm. Darkwater history, Harry Campbell. In the 19th century, as the American whaling industry reached its peak in the rest of the world, whales gradually disappeared from the waters surrounding Darkwater. This phenomenon appears even more mysterious because up till then the region was a favored refuge for cetacean? I have no idea how to pronounce that word. I know what it means, it's like the whales and stuff like that. And I think orcas too, but I have no idea how to pronounce it. In 1847, after months of pursuit, the Scylla returned to port with a gigantic creature on board. Its crew asserts that the sea monster had eaten all the disappeared whales. After a night of ferocious combat, the survivors managed to drag the beast onto the whaling ship. Interesting. Oh, lamp oil. I need to remember that place. Ah, okay, that's the Windows light. I was confused, that may be a puzzle, but no. This practical work written by Sigmund Freud was for psychologists, describes the techniques of analytical interpretation of dreams. The analysis must follow several rules, especially that of free association, a principle announced by Freud at the end of 19th century. It treats dreams as a way of revealing buried desires. I cannot believe that this theory is applicable to my nightmares. Volume 2, Puritan colony led by Reverend John Wickwood, settled on the island during the 17th century. They named the island Darkwater because of the dark shades of the sea. They believed it was because of the peculiar color of the rocks surrounding the island. They erected the first buildings, among which were the Hawkins Manor, the church, and the cemetery. The rare documents and handwritten notes they left spoke of nightmares and deviant behaviors. They disappeared at the beginning of the 18th century. Quite weird history for this little place. Nothing. Nothing happened there yet. Alright. Yeah. Leaving behind blood. The person was either desperate or dumb. Or the whole intention wasn't to actually break in and hurt anyone. Maybe to warn them. And it would make sense. They didn't think about that. Nothing. Oh. Yeah. Is it the bookseller or the burglar? What? Okay, this is weird. I don't know what is the combination yet. A page seems to be hidden here. It is possible to read. If somebody finds these memoirs, there will be no doubt that I am in serious trouble. My less and only hope is that my body and bones are still in this plane of reality, in order that they be recovered and burned. The funeral urn must be given to my dear mother, if she is still of this earth. The following message is of capital importance. Whoever reads these lines and demonstrates acuity as sharp as mine can hope to gain access to my most precious possession. It lies within my safe, and the clues to the combination are to be found in three cylinders, each hidden where life and study combine in the Greek word. Each cylinder is numbered, even if, as the celebrated author says, order is the pleasure of reason, but disorder is the delight of the imagination. Indeed, despite my preference for organized chaos, I must admit that reason usually prevails in the end. If by chance a person, or should I say genius, was to match my intellect and find the combination of the safe, I would ask that they deliver its content into the safekeeping of my friend and colleague, Professor Armitage, of Miskatonic University. The content of this safe is not only a vast digest of knowledge, but also a weapon that is far too dangerous for it to fall into the wrong hands. I hope that you will be able to appreciate the danger that this represents, and that you will act accordingly. In any event, I will neither be there to guide you nor to suffer from your actions. Well, that's promising. The least that can be said about this book is that its title is well conceived. The illustrations of human anatomy and dissection methods presented are illustrated in great detail. You have to have a strong heart or the detachment proper to doctors to consult these pages. But yeah, this bookstore owner seems to be quite a narcissist. Omelette in the shape of a dog. A strange omelette. The pendant is in the shape of a large dog. I don't know what it represents. I might find out more by searching the bookstore. Nothing. This key that bears the Elder sign is the only one able to protect your psyche. It is in the form of a cylindrical medallion hanging at the end of a heavy chain. Hundreds of years ago, the star and the branch whose purpose is to push back the forces of the Great Old Ones were engraved at its center. Everything points to it being Charles Hawkins that tore it from his last owner, an Egyptian antique dealer. In press cuttings that mention the misdemeanor, the date of the robbery coincides with the last of Hawkins' trips off to Cairo. It remains to be seen whether he known of the true purpose of the artifact. Try to find it. Okay, so this amulet could actually save me. I found the sleeping pills in the bookshop. Does the bookseller suffer from insomnia? Wow. Arkham Anthology, Volume 6, The Prophecies. Collection of long-term astrological predictions written in verse. Written by Nostradamus, translated by E. Leone and Theophilus Whitebridge. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology, a luxurious collection of treatises and works on esotericism and the supernatural. Opera in 8 acts by Benvenuto Cietti, Bordighera. An infamous lyrical work published in Italy in 1768. It is said that the opera was performed only once, resulting in an audience riot that left several dead and missing. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology, a luxurious collection of treatises and works on esotericism and supernatural. Wait. This is weird. Isn't this a reference to what was that other game? Oh, with the music box. And the randomly generated horror elements. Well, randomly decided. Forgot the name suddenly, but yeah, I had a playthrough of it. That had a concert as well. And everyone died one way or another who heard the song. I can't tell if the game is bugging out or my sound. A book of spells supposedly written by the legendary King Solomon. It contains various rituals of invocation and rituals of curse. The re-edition by Claudia D. Waits, based on L.V. de Lawrence's original. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology, a luxurious collection of treatises and works on esotericism and the supernatural. Fuck! What's wrong with my sound? I really can't tell if it's the game Or something is wrong with my cable. Collection of poems by Edward Pickman Derby. Also known as the Nightmare Lyrics, this collection of poems was sensationally received when first published in 1908. Derby was only 18 years old. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology, Luxurious Collection. Yeah, like what the fuck? Is it a game? Did the game kinda give up on me or what? I think it is the game. Huh. Okay, now it's working. I can't tell if it was the game or not. I will see it in the recording. I just sound test. I started to play music, a song, and it was fine. Since that the game is fine too. The Book of Esoteric Philosophy and the key text in Madame Blavatsky's Theophysical Movement, written by Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. Written by Hermes Trismegistus, translated and edited by Nathaniel M. Coppelius. This collection of texts on different beliefs was written by a legendary philosopher. It includes a translation of the Emerald Tablet, a popular text among 16th century alchemists. An ancient Frisian manuscript translated by William R. Sandbach. The text claims that in a distant past, Europe and other continents were controlled by the mothers of this people, and moreover that our alphabet is derived from the Frisian language. A collection of essays on American folklore and urban legends, written by Albert Wilmart, professor at Miskatonic University. Okay, some of these had Greek names, and I think that is a clue. This goblet seems to be very ancient. It seems to be made of gold and decorated with real precious stones. Do the rubies or sapphires make up a specific motif? I don't know. Maybe I find it out. Oh. Ah, okay, that was just light. Reflecting. Breviary of Medicine, Tom 3. Even a few years back, it was possible for a single practitioner to know all the medical knowledge of his time. This book, which concludes the series, shows that this is now virtually impossible. About 10 renowned doctors took part in putting together this collection. How is Pierce? Oh, I have 2 available points. I already maxed this out. So let's improve this. Wait, I wanted to check my medicine. Level 3. These Tibetan writings are at the origin of the esoteric movement founded by Helena Blavatsky at the end of the 19th century. The creator of Theosophy would have drawn extensively on the text of this work, but no one has ever been able to consult them. I thought they didn't exist. This book discovered in the nameless bookstore on Darkwater could be as much of a fake as irrefutable proof of Blavatsky's sincerity. I mean, so far I wouldn't be surprised if it would be the real deal, based on what I found. Handbook on Anatomy and Dissection. As precise and illustrated with as much detail as the first volume, this book focuses on healing surgery specific to malformations and motor disorders. Would you read the book? Yes. Malleus Bestiarium. This collection catalogs and classifies creatures that I had never even heard of. Divinities from the stars, creatures capable of traveling from one dimension to another. It presents itself as a reference work on the basic theory of the myth. Without giving details on the mythology to which it prefers, its pages are covered with phantasmagorical illustrations. Isn't this the monster from the previous episode? The painting? I still miss one cylinder. Oh, never mind, I have all of them. Yeah, I only want this one. A Grail. You mean the Holy Grail? So I guess I need to count the white ones, what are standing. But on the desk as well, or only on the board? I guess on the board. Which is 3 guard and 1 queen. Which is 4 together. Or 5, 6 if those two would count. Because they're standing. Volume 9. So 4. 9 maybe. 4. 9. Did it save it? Yeah, I did. I'll check volume 9. Volume 2. 3. 9. Collection of poems by Edgar, blah blah. Nightmare lyrics. This collection of poems was sensationally received when first published. Only 18 years old. I mean, I don't see anything. I guess 9, really. And the first one was about the Grail. Do I need to count the gems on it? Yeah, Divine Gold. One, two, three, four. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 red ones which look like drops. Okay. The guards only. What the... Chapter 8, Riverside Institute. In the nameless bookstore, Pierce traced the trail of an attempted burglary. He discovered that Charles Hawkins was behind the attempt. Pierce opened the bookseller's safe to find what the letter and Sarah Hawkins had hidden there. A book covered in human skin lied inside, irresistibly attracted the detective. When he opened it, his mind was projected into another body. Oh, I guess I will be the doctor now. Maybe. Yeah, it could be. Okay, let's see. That's us. Anyway, that was all for this episode. Thank you for watching, and we'll continue from here in the next one. Seems like this guy is mutating into something. Maybe a giant fish. Anyway,